Happy 4th of July, everybody. This is Terry over here at Hidden Hollow Loft. I've got 14, 10 are my whites, 4 are my regular young homing pigeons. And I just put some water out, make sure they get some nice water before we go out here and do this toss. I'm going to go a little bit further out today. Not further than they've ever been, but just a little bit further out than the last time I let them out. And we're going to try to get them to come home. Now, I'm not going to be here because after I let them off, we're going to Lowe's. This is not an endorsement, but we're going to Lowe's to pick up some materials for a couple of jobs I need to finish today so I can get all that off my back. My daughter's going to be here. I'm going to text her, let her know what time we let them off, and she's going to text me when they get back. Hopefully everything goes well because I'm trying to get some of these birds, a good group of these birds, trained to fly back from Inwood, which is about 5 miles from here, maybe a little, that's about 5 miles from here, to the place where they're doing Dave's memorial on Tuesday. Now, that was a little tough on me last night going up in there and seeing Dave like that. You know, he had a lot of hopes and a lot of wishes of being able to race birds this year, and I did a lot of work trying to get him to that point, to do anything I could do to help him get to that point, because it was about me and him. You know, it was something that he had got me into, we were doing together, and now I'm not so sure how it's going to go. He's got about 50 birds over there, and I talked to his wife last night. We never went into the bird subject. She did inform me that her and her daughter were moving out of that house that they lived into the country and with some other family because it's just way too much for her to keep up by herself, which I understand. You know, they had 2 cows and they had a bunch of geese, guineas, turkeys, chickens, ducks, a bunch of stuff like that. Besides the pigeons, no one ever said nothing about the pigeons. I would love to get my hands on those pigeons so I could train them and fly them out of Cumberland Valley Racing this year under Dave's name. But anyway, I talked to her last night. You know, I didn't want to, like I said, I didn't want to bug her. I did meet his dad, who said, you know, that I'd heard that he used to race with this club. See, I'm building a new box. It's going to go out tomorrow. Things have put it on hold, but it's a few days late. But it's going to get the loft name and all on it, and it's going out tomorrow. But I'd met his dad, who apparently had raced with this club before, and we had talked and all, and he knew who I was after I introduced myself. He said, "Oh, you're the guy that was doing so much with my son with the birds." And I said, "Yeah." And I said, "You know, I had this really good idea. I'd really love to do a white pigeon release at his memorial." And he really liked the idea. He said he thought Dave would really like the idea, and I had to go talk to his wife and ask her. And her and her daughter both thought that was just the greatest idea and that Dave would really love it. And I know Dave would. I would. So, like I said, today we're going to try to train some birds. Everything goes well today, then what I'll do is Saturday and Sunday I'll do 2 more tosses a little bit further out until I can pretty much get them used to flying home from the place that they're doing a memorial. It's hard losing a good friend. You know, it was really upsetting last night. A lot of people turned out because Dave was a really good guy, and I learned a lot about him from watching his videos and seeing some pictures, things I didn't even know. One thing that I did notice on his obituary form, the papers that they give you when you go there, was that we had the same birthday. Not the same year, but we were both born June 1st. And I didn't even know that till yesterday. Dave was a good guy. He was a family man. He had kids. He had grandkids. And I'm sure he would rather be here today celebrating this day with all of us. He was very patriotic. Well, anyway, just a couple updates on some other things. My garden is blowing up. I've been getting a lot of squash and peppers and stuff like that, and beans and green beans and snow peas out of there. I had a sweater hen running around with 4 babies. One of them disappeared, like last week or so. And now the 3 babies are running around by themselves. And I know that she probably protected the babies from that fox. And the fox got her. She's gone. And I've got another hen running around with 4 babies. I've got some roller pigeons hatching. And I've got a lot of things to do. It's really hot out here today, and I got a lot to do. I'm just so glad that my trash bin that I'm building, my other trash bin's for sale. One of my stove covers right there. See that stove cover in the back? It's going to get a monogram. It's going to get polyacrylic. A lot of these things are getting done. I'm not going to be doing as much off the top of my head as I would if I was normally here during the day, now that I've got a full-time job in Winchester, Virginia. But that's about it. I'm going to try to get these birds straight. I really want to fly some birds for Dave. And like I told the wife, I said, if I wanted flying birds, and if these birds are too dumb to come home, well, that's just the way it's going to have to be, because it's going to happen. I did get a phone call from a guy the other day, with my personalized leg bands with my name and phone number. This bird flew to State College, Pennsylvania, which is over 4 hours away from here, maybe almost 4.5, 5 hours away from here, and flew into the guy's barn, and he got his hands on it. Asked me when I was coming to get my bird. I said, dude, if you've got pets, if you've got other birds and you want to keep it, go ahead. And he wound it. He was happy. He said he was going to keep the bird, and I'm glad, because I'm really not trying to travel 5 hours to get one of these birds. I love my birds, but Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. I'm sure a lot of you have been through this before. I guess personal leg bands are good, and sometimes they're bad, because tracking it that far, I just don't know what made my bird fly that far all by itself. Like I said, I got some young homers in here. This one's done flown. That one right there is done flown. A couple of these have done flown. And all the whites have flown before. But anyway, that's about it for me today. Like I said, I'm getting ready to load up the truck, and we got to go get some stuff, and I got things to do. I'm sure you guys do too. John, your birds are looking great, man. I've got a part of my loft that's got a bunch of young birds in it that have yet to even be brought out into the regular loft, because they were birds that were given to me and Dave, and we were going to split them up, so I didn't put them with the rest of the flock. So they didn't get out of the loft. They didn't loft fly. They didn't get used to here before Dave got his birds. But now it looks like they're all staying here, and we're gonna loft fly them from here. September starts young bird race season. I'm hoping that I can at least try this gig. I've never done it before. I'm gonna probably use a manual clock, because those digital clocks are really expensive. And until I realize if I want to stay in it, I'm not spending that kind of money. That's just a little thick for my blood for something that I might only do a few times. But I will be doing it this year under Dave's name, as in Dave's Loft. Anyway, that's about it. Shout out to all my subscribers. Thanks for all the well words about Dave, all the prayers. Let's pray for his family, because let me tell you, last night was not a good deal. One of his daughters, I think his youngest, was 17, still in high school, and it's a crushing blow to any family to have to deal with this. Dave was a really good guy, and it's a shame. Y'all have a beautiful 4th of July evening. This is Terry saying, handle that.